All right, so we've established a one-to-many relationship between a faculty and their courses. Certainly, we would have to implement also one-to-many relationship between courses and modules, modules and sections, and lessons, lessons and topics and widgets. Yes, and we would do exactly the same thing, right? We would create these fields, these collections, and they would be pointing to each other. Okay, right? And we'll do that a little later. But for now, let's try and test. What does it look like trying to retrieve a user, right, or faculty, and retrieving maybe some courses that belong to that faculty. All right. All right. So let's do that. So to do that, let's create a. We'll need to create, just like we have controllers to retrieve widgets. We'll need to be able to have controllers to retrieve courses and retrieve faculties and so on and so forth, right? So let's do that. We'll need a couple of repositories. Usually, you would have one repository per data model, right? So just like you have a course class, you would have a course repository. If you have a faculty class, you would have a faculty repository, because each one of these you should be able to create, remove, update, right? Insert, right? All of these, right? They have respective tables, all right? So you should be able to create and update and delete them, all of them. So let's do courses. Let's do courses. So we can. I'm just going to copy this user repository. Well, actually no. Let's do it from scratch. We'll create a course repository. And we'll do a couple so that we get the hang of it, right? We're going to practice. Right? So create a course repository. These all extend CRUD repository. And this CRUD repository, I'm telling it, hey, I want to talk to a database, a table that is for the course class, and the primary key is made up of, I forget, it's an integer. It's an integer here, integer. Right, and this is an interface, not a class, interface. There we go. All right, that's it. That's all I need. Right? What else? Let's do a faculty repository. Let's do that. So again, you're going to have to practice this, right? And the assignment is going to walk you through creating a couple of these. So we'll do faculty repository. Right? Again, because I want to be able to create a new faculty, find a faculty, update a faculty, so the interface. And this is going to extend a CRUD repository. I want to be able to create, update, delete faculty. And their primary key, I believe it's an integer. All right, that's it. Once we have that, each one of these would also need a web service, because I like to be able to expose the data model to a React client who can ask for all the courses. Give me all the courses. Find all the courses. Create a new course. Delete a course. Yes? Right? So let's do that. Let's create a couple of controllers here. We'll say this will be for the course controller. Right? It'll be a RESTful controller. REST controller. And I like to do things such as find courses. We'll need the repository to query for all the courses, right? So we'll do something like AutoWire, bring me in the course repository, right? And I can implement things such as public list of courses. Oops. Things such as find all courses, which is going to return the repository.find all, and I'm just going to cast it to that. Okay? Right? And same thing for the faculty. I like to be able to retrieve all the faculty. In the controller, I'll create a faculty controller. Faculty right? And in here, same thing. This will be a RESTful controller. And I'd like to use the faculty repository I just created. So the faculty repository. Did we create a faculty repository? I thought we did. Faculty repository. Yeah. Why are you not giving it to me? Faculty repository? Oh, there it is. Repository. There we go. And I like to do things such as public list of faculty. Give me all the faculty. And I like to retrieve the, find all faculty, and returns the repository dot find all. I'm going to cast it to list faculty. All right. Obviously, we would map this to an incoming GET request, something like, if you get an incoming slash API slash faculty, then we will retrieve all the faculty. Whereas in the courses, if you get an incoming GET mapping and you ask for all the courses, it would retrieve all the courses. Yes? Everybody good? All right. So let's try this out. Let's rebuild this. Let's run this. And let's see what we get so far. All right, excellent. So let's see if I ask now for localhost 8080 for all the courses. Right, I have no courses. Makes sense. Yeah, I've never created a course. So let's create a couple of courses. Let's go back and let's insert a couple of courses. Let's see, we can say query for all the courses. I have no courses. Let's create a couple. So this semester I'm teaching CS 5610. And I'm teaching CS 4550. I'm teaching CS 3500. And I'm going to apply. Close that. If I refresh, notice that I have all those three courses I just created. Everybody good? All right. What about faculty? Let's create a couple faculty. If I ask for faculty, so localhost 8080 / API / faculty. Again, no faculty. So let's create a couple faculty. So remember, they're all being munched into the user table, right? So I'm gonna have here. I'm gonna say so it's a faculty. So this is maybe Ada, Lovelace, and so if I apply that, oops, the following blah 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 blah, first name, last name. What's wrong with my insert? First name, last name. Am I missing something? Office. D-type. Oh, probably needs a D-type. I need to tell it, what am I? Maybe. Let's see. Let me see if a faculty. Are you a faculty? Let's try that. Yes, we need to tell it. When this was inserted, was it a user or a faculty when it was created, right? So if I ask for a faculty now, if I refresh, notice that we do get Ada Lovelace, right? Notice that if I have a generic user, right, in the database, a user, some John Doe, and I insert, right? If I ask for the faculty, notice that I'm only getting Ada. I'm not getting John Doe, because John Doe is not a faculty; they're a user. right? So the ORM does this for us automatically, right? It knows which type it needs to go fetch, right? Which is pretty cool. And notice also this authored courses says it's empty. And it's true, right? Ada hasn't authored anything because of the courses that I have, 5610 and so on and so forth, right? They all have where is it? They all have, where is it? User, review, meters, addresses, reviewers, close that, new schema, don't save, Charlie Brown. Right, the courses, notice that none of them has the author ID field, right? So they're not related to any course, yes? They're not related to any course. But I have a couple of users here. Let's hook it up with Ada. We're going to say that all these courses, they were authored all by Ada. Apply. Right? So what would you expect? Right, if I refresh this, my expectation is that that array would be filled with all the courses that Ada authored, right? And that's true. But we also, right, notice what we have here, right? Notice that those objects were pointing to the author, right? And the authors are trying to fill in the courses that they author, right? And those courses are trying to fill the author, and the author are trying to fill the authored courses. So it's now in a loop, an endless loop, right? Where each one is pointing to each other and says, well, for each author, I'm going to get the authored courses, and the authored courses are pointing to the author, and the authors are pointing to the courses. It's in this endless loop trying to generate this infinite JSON object that will never finish. Okay, I just crashed my browser. Okay, no, I didn't. Good. If I refresh, the same thing is going to happen. It's going to go and try and fetch those authored courses. Yes? Trying to fill in the array. It's going to try the author. The author is going to try to get the courses, the author, and so on and so forth. Right, so to avoid this, we need to clip. We need to tell Java when it's trying to convert these Java objects into their JSON representation to stop somewhere, to stop the recursion somewhere. Right? One of the things that we could do is we're going to say, hey, course, I don't really care who authored this. Right? I want to really navigate from the faculty and see all the courses that the faculty authored, as opposed to navigating from the course looking at who the author is. Right? Any which way you want it, right? But you can't have both. Right? So I'm going to select, I'm going to go back into the course. Where's the course? Right? Into the course, and we're going to say, author, I want to ignore this. JSON ignore, meaning when you get to this field, don't try to convert it into JSON. Right? Ignore this field. Right? Otherwise, you're going to get stuck in an infinite loop. Right? So let's do this. I don't want to lose my author and the 3 courses I created. Right? So I'm going to do my application properties. I'm going to change this from create. I'm going to change it to update. Meaning, if you need to update something, update it, but don't throw away all my tables. Don't recreate the tables from scratch, right? Because I have data in there. I don't want to blow that away, right? So I'm going to restart. All right, let's try that again. So here we go to the faculty. If I refresh, notice that indeed, I have my faculty, and I have my 3 courses, my 2 courses. Wait, weren't there 3 courses? What happened? Refresh. Oh, the last one somehow I missed. Apply. Close. If I refresh, okay, now I have my 3 courses. Everybody good? If I go to my courses, if I go to my copy, what? Copy courses. Notice that I'm okay, right? It's not going into that endless loop. But somebody might say, wait a minute, but so I don't have any access to the faculty? What if I want to iterate over these courses and I want to maybe list the name of the faculty, right? If I don't have access to the faculty object, how am I going to access anything? Make sense? Right? And that's true. That would be a very legitimate question, right? So what we can do to get around this limitation, we can get our courses and we could create another field here. We could create a public string get author name, right? Get author name, right? And we can return the author, right? Dot get first name plus author dot last name. Okay? Yes? Right. So now that's going to be a field in the course when it goes back to JSON, right? When it gets converted into JSON and it's calculated, it's a calculated field. But notice that title is also a field that JPA is going to want to store in the database. But this field is a fake field, right? It's a calculated field. It's not a field that I want to store in the database. Yes, right? So I need to tell JDBC, say, hey, JPA, do not store this in the database. It's not a real field. Right? It's a calculated field only for the purposes of converting into a JSON field for the consumer. Yes? Right. So to do that, we're going to label it as transient. Transient means this is a temporary value. Right? It's not stored permanently. Right? It's transient. It's calculated and then thrown away. Right? So let's restart again. Now we have the author. See, Ada Lovelace for each one of the courses. Okay? All right? Make sense? All right.